Mobile money in Honduras. This presentation is a study case of the regulatory framework um, from the Joao Escoto. It's a final project for the mobile money for financial inclusion for the GSM course. These are some indicators from Honduras, like the political division, population, adult population, the population density, the Human Development Index, the amount of rural population, and the GDP. Also, in rural areas, approximately 6 of 10 households live in extreme poverty, or is less than $2.50 per day. These are some financial indicators from Honduras. You can see the point of sales, the number of debit account, number of debit cards, number of loans, number of credit cards, number of municipalities with bank agency, and the percent of people with bank account. In 2015, the Honduras government began the National Strategy for Financial Inclusion, but unfortunately this strategy lacked of necessary incentive to expand the coverage of financial services. So the banks don't make the increase of number of agency, and the percentage of people with bank account is not increasing. The mobile money services began in 2011 with the operator Tigo and Millicom subsidiary with the service Tigo Money. There was a very interesting service. It's a digital wallet, and people can make P2P transfers, bill payments, salary payment, collects, and works mainly in USSD platforms and also with an application. These services was very used in Honduras, mainly in the rural areas and for the people with no financial services. And for 2016, counted more than $20 million monthly in transactions, in an average of $6.24 per transaction. The economic impact is all 87 of the GDP in 2015. The regulation for the financial sector comes from the Law of Payment System in 2015 and the regulation for non-bank institutions. This regulation was very restrictive. So the financial regulation in Honduras established the creation of a new company other than the mobile network operator, a stock company at a lease of $1.3 million, the obligation for the users to sign a contract. This was very restrictive because a lot of population can read, and this is a very restrictive imposition, and establish a trust bank institution to support 100% of electronic money put in circulation and prohibits the international remittance. And this is a very important part of the economy of Honduras because a lot of people live in the US and other countries to send money to his relatives here in Honduras. In Latin America, we have a lot of good examples of better regulation, like in El Salvador, that allows the same company, Tigo, who works also in El Salvador, to international remittance. This is very useful for the population, especially in the rural areas. Another regulation comes from Colombia, who has makes some changes in his regulation to make a very good financial inclusion strategy. Another example of very good regulation in Latin America are the law of Peru, who implement this regulation to make easy the financial inclusion, and Paraguay, who has a very implemented services of mobile money and make the regulation after the service was implemented. So as you can see, there are a very good example of regulation for the financial inclusion strategy who works with the mobile money services. In Honduras, the restriction make many limitations for the objective of national inclusion. Countries like Colombia and Paraguay and others are more flexible about their regulation and the services, and has shown a very successful model for financial inclusion. Related to the telecommunication regulations, in Honduras, the Telecommunication Regulation Authority, CONATEL, has not established a particular regulation about mobile money services. However, they made a very good study about it. The possible regulation will include the following keys: is the consumer protection, the security of the network, and the competition market. It's an export regulation making a provision of anti-competitive practice. Another best practice about the regulation are the ITU through the Digital Financial Services Focus Group. You can see the link. Another very interesting is the GSMA and the Alliance for Financial Inclusion. You can see the links below. This organization has made a lot of recommendations and best practice for regulators and operators to take advantage of the benefit of these services.